Okay, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Friday Coffee. So that what a great group in. Welcome to those joining us on Zoom. I haven't seen how many we have on, but we're so glad you're here today. Thank you to our sponsors, Council for Drug Free Youth. We're going to hear a little bit more from them, but why don't we start off? Just a few housekeeping notes. I mentioned we have some folks on Zoom. You are muted now, just so to avoid kind of unwanted background. We do introductions. Unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please. And then also, if you have some questions, you can put those in the chat, or at the end, unmute yourself and ask your questions. So appreciate to have folks here and those joining us on Zoom. Why don't we start with introductions around the room? Introduce yourself, tell us your name and your business, and if there's something really quick you want to share, maybe about your business or something, we always like to hear what's going on in your world. So Aaron, do you want to be the one to start?
My name is Aaron Clark. We own the new building that used to be Home Yoga Studio. It's in space called the Studio Company. Inside the building, we have a dance instructor who teaches youth ballet. I'm a full-time photographer, so my studio space is on the second floor. My wife works for a company called Maluka, and her office is in there. We also have a few rental property investments. We own Hobo Hill. You guys heard about the home at Hobo Hill, Airbnb, reach me out. So let's tell you about us.
I'm Gary Plummer. I'm the president of the chain.
Demolition, Housekeeping paragraph. We have a event next on the 21st, next Saturday. 11 to 1, teacher appreciation. This fall, get a book, get a free massage, and some ways for teachers and teachers.
Style, Justin Parks.
And Bruno, Jesse Parks.
There's Rondo, Ford Mortgage.
Kimberly Woodruff, Groups and Humanity. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and we're looking for groups to help on job sites in our new store and in other ways. Assistant labels and that community, and then military appreciation month, so I raised our 10% discount.
Real broker downtown realty and team leader at downtown PXP.
I will say,
Jeremy Woldo, Campus Services. Contract started.
Rebecca Brown as administrative assistant.
Actually, can you just say chamber?
And we'll just vote, even though you're going to go ahead. Might as well introduce yourself. You're going to be able to do it.
Kyle Berendzen, K. Berendzen Construction, and part of the United Capital City team.
Tom Chapman, president of the United Capital City.
Craig Hall, visiting bureau.
Area Holloway and Vicky, or Nicole, she's our assistant agriculture.
Oh, my turn?
Well,
Oh, sorry, they were all looking at Jose Ramos, I'm Cricket Wireless from both the stores here in town.
The next one, the builder
Jason, I feel they got, you were working on a Mac do this, I
yeah.
Sean Stephens, Mike Lester, City Council Board 2.
Hi everyone, Ashley Warner, Hitachi Energy, and we are hiring and growing and expanding, so come join our team.
Jay Marr, I'm the chamber staff.
Okay, how about anybody that's joining us on Zoom? Anyone want to unmute?
I'm always wanting to say more than I should, but this is Chris Jordan and Will Patterson with All-in-One Outdoor Solutions.
Hi, everyone. This is Amber Brundell with United Way.
Hi, this is Janet Warinlow with SM Health.
This is Daryl Ortego with Innovative Medical Clinic.
Good morning. This is Jamie Meyer with RMI Business Finance.
Morning, this is Sarah Bull with Jefferson City Magazine.
Good morning, Logan Gratz, Gratz Real Estate and Auctioneering.
Paula
Good
Benny
morning,
with
Carol.
CNS Business Services.
Carol Griffin with Special Olympics, along with Jerry Cleathermos.
Dana Alderman, River Region Credit Union.
Dennis Heckman, Civil Design.
You had a little double up there.
Dennis Heckman with Civil Design Incorporated.
Darcy Crane, American Cancer Society. And on Friday, June 3rd, we will have a traditional Relay for Life of Cole County event at Dwight T. Reed Stadium at Lincoln University.
Steve Hauser with US Rented. Great chamber barbecue last night.
Here, here.
Anna Bax with Wall Street Group.
Missy Bono with the Jefferson City Regional Economic Partnership.
Going once, going twice. All right, good, good. Well, I also like to say we always like to welcome our new members. And we usually have a screen of new members, but we recently had a membership drive where we had probably over 60 volunteers or 80 volunteers that helped us recruit some new members. And so we are fortunate we have a lot of new members. And so I'm not going to say them all individually, but a few of you might be in the room here. Let's see if you see your name in there. We welcome our new members. So glad that you're here, either in person. So great group. Very good, good, good. If I skipped over anybody that's here that was on that list, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Okay, and now our official sponsor, I'm going to call Andrea up because she is going to tell us a little bit about Council for Drug Free. I'll pass it.
Good morning, happy Friday to all. As you know, my name is Andrea Holloway. I'm the executive director. This is actually quite a new role for me for the last year, but I've been a volunteer with the organization for 6-7 years now, so it was exciting for me to take this role on. I provided a video today to kind of show you what all we do in the community because it's a lot for me to say, so I just kind of want to save my voice a little bit. Then I'm going to ask Ashley to play the video.
Council for Drug-Free Youth's mission is to motivate, educate, and collaborate to promote drug-free lifestyles among youth in mid-Missouri. Check out our website to see how you can help and support youth who are our future.
Now that you're my desire, now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Follow your heart, baby, don't be shy. Just follow yours and I'll follow mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Something good.
So that's just a little snip of what we do. Of course, we have a lot of other things that we do. We host community events. We're out in the community letting people
know we're here. We work a lot with youth, as you can see, a lot with schools. So we're always trying to promote the drug-free lifestyle among youth and educate them, and hopefully that they'll make those great choices of not choosing to use. Our other new thing that we are focusing on is suicide prevention. So we work with a coalition out of St. Louis and providing that connection for schools. They go in and educate and train teachers, staff, cooks, whoever comes in contact with students. And then in turn, they train the students to recognize and see those signs in their peers. Then they are able to help that youth member that may be struggling. And then in turn, a task force comes together within the school and tries to help that student. So we're looking to decrease mental health, as it is a huge crisis right now among youth, and especially with COVID on top of that and everything else that they see and have to deal with on a daily basis. So we're just, we've been around for a long time and continuing to be around, and hopefully we'll be around for many, many years. So I will take any questions if anybody has any. I appreciate you all being here and allowing me to share this information. I'm excited to hear about the new soccer complex, as my daughter is a part of United and loves it. So, yeah.
Yes, what is the date and the times of the ice cream social?
Yeah, so we have an ice cream social coming up. It is August 1st. It will be held at Capital West Christian Church Event Center, and it's from 5 to 7:30. The community is welcome. This is where you will see our performance groups perform, and this is the performance that they will perform in schools. So this is an opportunity we allow the community to come view them, as when they're performing at schools, it's pretty hard to do, so. Okay. Thank you.
Do your door prize?
Sure, we have a little bit of CDFY swag along with $40 to, don't want to pronounce it wrong, Yanni's Coffee Zone. So you want me to go ahead and pull it? Or should I have somebody else do it? So I think it's not very able to.
Darius Brondell.
All right, come on up. Sure. You want to be the next? No, oh, how about that? Imagine that. Got it, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, on with the announcements. We sure appreciate our sponsors. Just want to let you know that your business can be a sponsor too. I did see Rochelle, or hear Rochelle on, but Rochelle is with Cumulus Radio, and they help us with the sponsorship, because not only do you get to make a little brief presentation about your organization here, we promote you on our emails and our promotions for Friday Coffee, but Rochelle works with you on some radio promotions on one of those stations there you can see. So we sure appreciate Cumulus for this partnership on Friday Coffee. It's a great opportunity. I am filling up some sponsorships. I'm not sure if we have any left in this year, but always in 23. So pick a month that works for you, and we're glad to have you be a sponsor. Some brief announcements that we have. Social media forum is something that we do with the chamber once a month. I don't think Natalie's with us. I know that she has a committee meeting with Downtown Association, so she's not here, but I always like to brag on her and Kenny. They do a great job leading this. It's once a month. It's on the third Wednesday at noon. It's in this room, and they also do it on Zoom, but the topic is different every month, and it really just helps you, either you or maybe someone in your organization that utilizes social media. Encourage you to attend this. It's always the same time every month. This month, it's how to manage social media for the summer. So I think with our temperatures this week, summer is here, right? So like I said, topic changes every month, and a lot of times it's the group that kind of decides, what they want to discuss and learn. So I encourage you to attend that. That's May 18th. Okay, a networking event, Chamber Connections. That's next Thursday. Chamber Connection is always on the third Thursday. It's at Prison Brew in May. It's on May 19th from 4 to 5:30. Bring your business cards and you can network and talk to folks, enjoy some great food on the patio. Vogel Insurance is the business co-sponsor, and our media sponsor with that is Zimmer Radio Group. So Friday coffee, always third Thursday. This month it's at Prison Brews. The golf tournament's coming up next in June, June 20th. We will, if your organization would like to provide a door prize, we'd love to have door prize from you. We give those away to the players and participants. This tournament sells out with 36 teams. I did ask if there's room for a team. Sometimes there is. We always give first right of refusal. So if you have an interest in having a team, let me know, because sometimes someone drops out. And if I've got you on the wait list, we can find you a spot. Or if your organization would like to be a sponsor, at all the 18th hole, we have folks on the course greeting the golfers, or you can just have a hole side. So it really works, what works best for you. If you want to get that one-on-one interaction with the players, we might be able to find a spot for you. We only have 18, obviously, and those fill up too. But we can try to find an opportunity for you to be involved in the golf tournament. Announcement on the battle group. Andrew, I think maybe you should make this announcement, right? You're in the leadership class. I think you know a little about this.
Yeah, so it's July 23rd, at the theater, carnival tournament. It's another little things going on there. There's gonna be some local brewers and some outside.
This is a great event, and the leadership Jefferson City program is awesome. I know that I have people that just randomly will say, how do I get tickets? How do I go to the Battle of the Brews? So it's a great tradition that you guys are following, and it's going to be a great event. So I'm sure people are going to hear more about that as it comes. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Gary because he's going to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Susan. And I think it was Steve Hauser who gave a shout out for the membership barbecue last night. We had probably a record crowd. And I want to thank the chamber team, Jay and Ashley and Rebay. Jennifer's not with us this morning. She survived. She just doesn't work on Friday morning. And special congratulations to Susan for pulling that event together, and all the volunteers who helped do that, and the sponsors, of course, a very important part of that. So we're proud. We had about 1,200 people last night over at Kappa. So we just went through a strategic planning process here at the chamber, and one of the areas that we identified was we wanted to be connected with important development opportunities in this community, whether we're taking the lead on those opportunities or whether we're playing a secondary role, part of the supporting cast. And those sort of projects are things like MSP redevelopment. Of course, the Bicentennial Bridge was something we were very engaged in. The Heartland Board is something we continue to support. And one of those opportunities in particular was sports tourism. And we know we're way back in the chorus when it comes to that. Diane Gillespie and the folks at the Convention Business Bureau have a very strong track record over the years of attracting major sporting events to Jefferson City, like the state track meet, just as one example. And what a tremendous economic impact that has on our community. And so sports tourism is specifically mentioned in our strategic plan as something that we want to get behind, because we know it's a growth opportunity for Jefferson City, because of our location and our facilities. And of course, we're here this morning to talk about an opportunity for greater facilities when it comes to sports tourism, particularly soccer. And so it's a great pleasure for me to welcome the originator of this concept, who pulled together both public and private partners, and they're making tremendous progress. I think they have some exciting update to provide today. So, and that is Kyle Berendzen, who is the owner of K8 Construction. And I just met Kyle for the first time this morning, and I can see why he's in charge of this effort. He's really a great leader, and I think has something to say. He has some other folks involved in the project that they'll be introducing a little bit later in the program. So help me welcome Kyle, please.
How y'all doing? My name's Kyle Berendzen. Fighting a little bit of allergies right now, so I'm gonna fight through it. I am the guy that started this project. We started about 2.5 years ago, looking to build a 4 to 6 field, looked even an 8 field complex, all turf in Jeff City. A volunteer member of the board for United Capital City. I've been in business since 2010. I've been a lifelong resident of Jeff City. Been working on this project for pushing 3 years now. Basically, we travel 6 to 8 weekends every spring and every fall, St. Louis, Kansas City, with our kids, and we spend a lot of money. Soccer, I played football in high school. Never played any soccer, but my kids are really big in it. It's a really growing sport right now. Ton of money spent on it. The biggest thing was just trying to get something here so we're not going everywhere else. Like I said, I personally know 2 families when I started this that couldn't play soccer, either because they couldn't afford to travel in hotels and everything, or they just weren't spending every weekend in a hotel. So that was kind of the push behind it. I'm doing this 100% for free, all volunteers. It's all for the community and UCC, who will run it in the end. We have a lot of good backing people behind this. I'll get to that here in a second. So basically, we are building a 4 to 6 field complex, like I said, right behind the old Rock Quarry and Special Olympics off Christie Drive. We feel to turn this area of town into a valuable sports destination. It's got very easy access coming off 179, numerous hotels and restaurants within a 5 to 7 mile radius. It's going to be a great economic engine for our city. As you read through our packets, which we have over here, we can get more, or we can leave them here for anybody that's on Zoom to pick up. Or you can contact Craig Hall, he'll have some more. We have great momentum, great support from local, regional, and even state support, ranging from the Jeff City Visitor Bureau, Regional Planning Commission, support of Cole County, and the support of the city of Jefferson. In addition, we have multiple letters of intent to bring out-of-town tournaments here. We've also partnered with the County of Cole to apply for Missouri State tax credits, which we're doing next week. Then we'll basically help out anybody that's donating. It could help them out, depending on their tax bracket where they're at. Those are coming through the Missouri Development Finance Board. Total budget for our project for 4 field is $8.5 million. The total for our 6 fields is $10.5. We currently have $4 million in hand. The complex will basically buy hundreds of jobs ranging from referees to administrative and program professionals, as well as 100% of the construction of this project is all from local vendors in Jeff City. The only thing that will be out of Jeff City will be the turf contract. Where's that there? This will allow Jefferson City to become a destination for soccer across the Midwest, as well as other events, which will encompass many as 9 surrounding states. Most importantly, the complex will provide the economic boost for our hometown, tremendously helping our hotels, restaurant, gas stations, along with police, fire, and ambulance from the tax revenue it's going to generate. Based on the calculations derived from Destinations International Event Impact Calculator, utilized by the Jefferson City Convention and Visitors Bureau, the annual projected economic impact for the new complex is $11,600,000. Last year, the comprehensive total for all combined sports in Jefferson City was $6.5 million. So this project alone will nearly double that, and combined with the previous numbers, triple it. And that is a calculation of direct and indirect spending, but it's a big number. And that's in the first year. There is no doubt this investment will garner a great return for our town. We've also provided supporting documentation that will illustrate my comments and our purpose of this mission, which are all in the package that we have. We have the United stand package there, the brochure deal, and then we have the envelopes that have basically budgets and a few other things that we have put together. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, yeah. So right there is a 4-field concept that we have drawn up. Basically, you can see Special Olympics in their soccer field that they have there. The ground is sided. We are coming in off Christie Drive there. I'm pretty sure everybody kind of knows where it's at now. Do you have the 6 field before? You don't, okay. So we have another drawing that shows 6 fields, and we have it here if anybody here wants to look at it, which would be 2 more to the south with that parking lot on the south. And that encompasses another 10 acres. So right now we're on pace to go ahead and do the 4 fields for sure. We're getting ready to start a capital campaign in June, right end of June. And hopefully we can get enough money to go ahead and do all 6 fields. Like I said, we have the United We Grow packet here, and there's a lot of good information in it. It tells a little bit about everything. It tells our mission and what we did. It has a drawing of a sketch an artist did for us. It shows us growing its community on the number of kids coming, and how much a one-day tournament can bring us. Shows how we have the 9 states all hooked to us. Right in the center, showing about our future community. Then on the back, it has our budget on it, in a picture of the 4-field complex. So there's a lot of good information in there that'll show you a lot. Along with, in here, they actually do have the 6th page of the 6-field complex on here, which, like I said, is where we're hoping to go. And if we don't do it now, we're planning on doing it in the future. It's also got a letter from the community development there, our budget. There's a lot of good information, and our letters of intent from Luke Hughes Athletics to show that the tournaments that we have already booked for next fall. Our plan is to start construction in December and be open for soccer in fall on the 4 fields. The 6 fields will not happen that soon. Mainly, even if we have the money, they still got to do blasting on the south side. They're currently blasting in the location now. And then as they get done with that, they're going to move over to the south side and start on that. Is the plan. Like I said, it's also got our budget in here, a lot of good information. And I will show you this, and this is basically our page on, it's in the in the packet, our page on all different levels that you can donate to businesses and what you get out of it. Obviously, there's a little room to move stuff around. The community sponsors $10,000 a year for a 3-year commitment. A brand sponsor is $50,000 a year for a 2-year commitment. A naming sponsor is $100,000 for a 4-year commitment, and a cornerstone sponsor is $250,000 for a 4-year commitment. We have already had a couple of them, so we are gonna, like I said, in the middle of June, end of June, we have a lady that's gonna run our fundraising capital campaign, and they'll probably start hitting the hotels and the streets and see if they can get some community sponsors and anything else. So we are a non-for-profit. Everything that we have a good board built up. I don't want to release any names on that yet. We're still finalizing everybody on that, but a board that will oversee everything that goes on. It's going to be it's a different board. Currently now, United Capital City has their own board, their soccer club. This is a different board that we're setting up that's going to oversee all the construction and then transition into the new club, because it's going to be a kind of a different deal with having our own complex than just having some soccer kids. Currently, we rent out everywhere to play soccer, all schools to get turf. We got kids coming from a lot of different places. Tom might tell you no more about that. I have nothing to do with the United Capital City and the coaching or the soccer club or nothing. So our plan is to get it built, and everybody between Missouri Youth Soccer Association, who kind of heads Missouri. Then you have SLISA, which is St. Louis Youth Soccer Association. And then you have Heartland, which is in Kansas City, Kansas, and Olathe. Heartland and SLISA kind of run Missouri, and MISA oversees it, but it's Tom's been in direct contact with all three. All three support it tremendously. It's a great place. Either one of them like traveling across the state It's going to pull from down south. It's going to be a great deal, and the numbers are staggering on the kids, and they might be able to tell you more about that. That's more their side on the amount of people that's going to come here the weekend. On the hotels, the spending, and it's just going to be great for the community. So I appreciate your time. Go ahead, and then we'll get questions at the end.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Chapman. I'm the president of the United Kappa City Soccer Club. And I'll take you back a while. We used to have soccer tournaments in Jeff City out in '63. That stopped when the YMCA purchased that, and there was that no competition clause. So we ended up going to the back of 179. We have not had many tournaments since 2016 because there's just not a lot of space. I'll tell you, in 2016, our club was about 115 players. It was dwindling fast. We decided to start talking to all the schools and Lincoln University and everybody else to use turf. Since 2016, we've gone from 115 kids to over 350 in our program. So that tells us that everybody wants to play on turf. And the better facilities you have, the more people that will come. So that is one of the important things about this. The other thing is that we have a lot of kids at all types of levels. We're trying to provide more outreach for those kids, but with us having kids over at, let's say, Special Olympics, Lincoln, practices here, practices there, everybody's spread out in our city. There's no continuity for us. And so that was one of the reasons why we kind of went in with this venture for this complex. And so the important thing here is that we want to be able to outreach to underdeveloped as well. Currently, we provide about 8 to 10 scholarships a year, full scholarships for kids to play. This will help us, extend that reach a little bit more. We get a lot of pressure now that we have multiple high schools and everything else that we need to have more soccer players. We need to provide more for those kids that, right now, if you go out and look at some of the high schools, they've got kids who have never kicked a soccer ball. And so it's important for us to help build that relationship with those kids and get those kids more involved at an earlier age. So, I don't know. I talk pretty fast. So, but like I said, like Kyle said, we have some special relationships in the St. Louis area. Missouri Youth Soccer Association is really the foundation and the backbone of everything in the state of Missouri when it comes to soccer. Eric Bushnell runs that up there, and he has been 100% supportive. A lot of people have asked us, was in St. Louis, weren't to get upset because you're starting a new, or you're building a new complex. That is totally not the case. They are looking for something in central Missouri to bring people into because it's centralized. So that being said, we also have a wonderful relationship with Little Fuse Athletic through the tournament director, Franco Carnudo there. They have agreed to drop 2 to 3 tournaments a year here. That's between 100 and 200 teams in the tournaments. So not only will we be using our complex, but we'll probably be reaching out to Cap City and Helias, getting everybody involved in this venture until we have enough fields to cover that. So I think that's very important to the community as well. And then we have other things. I keep hearing all these little rumors about super leagues and everything else. They don't share much with us here, in Jeff City because we're centralized. But there's a lot of talking. As a matter of fact, I got a call from Brad Dempsey, who was the old Helias AD, who's now in St. Louis. He said, "Did you know you guys are being considered for a super league?" And I was like, "Well, I knew a little bit about it, but they don't tell me anything." So there's a lot of stuff going on up there about this complex right now and what they can provide. There's junior championships. There's all kinds of state level tournaments, such as President's Cup, which we've been guaranteed in 2023 for both boys and girls. That's going to bring over 50 out of town teams in to stay at our local hotels, restaurants. Sorry, didn't mean to. That's just the President's Cup. Yeah, the President's Cup and things like that. So those are going to bring in about 50 teams each, as well as possibility of junior championships, which are basically age U12 and down, where those younger kids will be here as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for our community and really helping the economic growth here. So
No, I just want to touch on the numbers a little more that we had talked about. So we use a program. Yeah, we use a program from Destination International that we purchased at the Convention Vision Bureau. It doesn't just shoot out random numbers. We have parameters that we enter, like our population, our tax rates, then it goes off national averages for different activities. So the numbers that I ran, I just wanted to hit that. Those numbers seem high, but they're actually on the low side. I took about 50% of the teams that they guaranteed, and they guaranteed a 35% hotel rate. I put that at 20 to get those numbers. And keep in mind that that 11 million only includes the 5 tournaments that were guaranteed. It doesn't include the rest of the year. So it could be even higher. That's just the letters of intent that we had is that 11 million. So I just want to fill that out.
Would you gentlemen all like to stand up here and we can take questions from the group? No problem. Yeah. And Kyle, you can direct them to who can answer them best. Yes. Perfect. Any questions?
Yeah, so it's a public-private partnership for the construction. Can you talk about financing and people management as you create it?
Yeah, I could probably start on that. It's really a private, I wouldn't call it a public. We are trying to get some ARPA funds. There's no guarantee on that. The tax credit deal, nothing to do with taxes at all, obviously. It's the state of Missouri's guaranteed $10 million a year in state tax credits from the Missouri Development Finance Board. As we know, Jeff City has never got any of them over the years. It's always St. Louis, Springfield, and Kansas City. As far as Missy Bono, I believe is on here, it's never even been applied for this time, which I feel like we're really missing out on a lot of money that's given to the state of Missouri every year. So we are the first ones that are applying for this. So that is a tax credit that I would say the federal government gets Missouri. So we are applying for that next week. Everything else is pretty well private, all private donations. Obviously, we're going to go out and do a capital campaign, if you want to call that public. But going forward right now, we are in the process, like I said, this transition board. Going forward in management, it's roughly 7 to 9 people. We haven't gotten 100% commitments from everybody, so that's why I didn't want to say a number. They're all local people, all from different parts of life. Everybody on this board has nothing to do with not in Capital City right now. From that saying, that board will oversee it continuing on. We're basically to be a 3-year term, kind of stagger everybody. And Tom might tell you a little more, but we are finalizing how we're doing all that right now. I can tell you that. So that's how the management of it will go on. In our budget, we've put everything in there from lights to everything and ongoing costs. I think they got a 5-year, maybe even a 10-year out deal. I haven't done none of that. That's not my part of the game. But that's what I would say. You got anything to say about how it's going to be run?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be obviously an executive director and a few other people. There'll probably be 3 FTEs inside the complex. There'll be a 5 to 7, maybe even 9 board oversight committee that will oversee everything that goes on with the complex itself. UCC will be an entity inside of the complex, obviously, but the overall management of the complex is more geared to what we're trying to do, which is bring in tournaments, bring in revenue for and economic growth for the city. And so that's kind of where we look at it. You talked about upkeep and things like that. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, but we've done a lot of sponsorship, or we've talked to Special Olympics. They have this, what do they call it? The river or whatever that we go to.
Oh, yeah, the turf groomer.
Yeah, the turf groomer. Where they're looking forward to, I think, we wanted to share that with us, but we could hold it for them, to kind of store it for them. We're working on relationships constantly to try to better the situation with costs and things like that. So we're always looking for partners. We're always reaching out, looking for everything like that. So.
Yeah, and I know we've had the question a few times, and on excuse me, as this thing grows, it keeps growing. Like I told you from the get-go, and I'll be on this board, and I'm the one to start this. Our main deal is to help build the community. I'm donating 100% of my time. Every dollar that comes into this project as we go, we're just going to keep expanding. Right now, we've got some other avenues we're working on to keep expanding, to keep getting bigger, trying to get where we have more land available. So as we grow and as it starts bringing in money, as it generates, which is going to take time, depending on where we're at when the fundraising is over. All this money is going to go back into it's not going to United Capital City soccer club itself. It's going to this complex and making it better.
I'm sorry, I missed this, but what was the survey completion date?
Yeah, the goal for start date is December, January, hopefully December, and that goes back to a few things. I mean, obviously the blast in there, Ed's on here, so thank you, Ed. But it depends on when they get them done. No hiccups, it might be, that's what we're hoping for. That's all. December, and then if that all works, December, January, somewhere there, we get started on it. Everything's lined up to be ready to play in the fall. So quick turnaround.
So the major term is probably fall of 23.
And major work will be done. I mean, there will be storm drainage, and there's work that needs to be done. But once it's leveled and ready, that's the most work we're putting. As of now, we're putting one building on it, which would be a concession stand, a few offices, and potentially a restaurant that will be right on site. Well, as you can see, on the south side of the fields. And so that's where we're at.
You kind of just mentioned it a little bit, but what are they required for school water? Is that all considered?
What's that?
What are they required for school water?
It's the Central Missouri Professional Services working on it now. Brian McMillan's who's worked with me the last couple of years on this. So this is not the final draft. This was our concept from this is probably a year and a half ago. So basically, yeah, he's doing a new stormwater drain. We're gonna probably need retention based on that northwest border up there. So none of that's set in stone yet. See, he's got about a 15-page new plan that's being worked on right now. He thought he was gonna get to the city next month. So I can't answer that, but
is the turf removable?
Yeah, it all drains through. It has interior drainage. I have another one that shows it, but yes, basically, the fields are gonna be crowned. As of right now, the fields are gonna be crowned right there, drained and drained, and then it gets drained all on all four sides. So it gets about 3 foot of rock total, different kinds of rock. You get to a base rock that's a drainage system. It's under, it goes through turf and then to that out to the drainage. So you can play on it while it's raining. The only thing that's gonna stop you is lightning. When I first started this, I did reach out probably 2 years ago. I looked at 63, and because the price was right, but you couldn't. I got a hold of a lady from Slicing, Berendzen, and they would not come here unless it was turf. So we play league there every Sunday. We drive there every Sunday. I got 3 kids playing soccer.
I think that's another thing to keep in mind when we're talking revenue in the city. Is the revenue we're also going to keep, because families like this, they travel out of the city every weekend to go spend money in Kansas City and St. Louis, but they're going to be staying also besides the people that are going to be coming here.
Yeah, we did 3 weekends this spring. That I was in Olathe, Kansas, or Shawnee Mission, Kansas, and my wife was in St. Louis. We got 3 kids. That gets old. But once you're committed, you got to go with it. And so that's the main reason. We're still going to go there every once in a while, obviously, to support their complexes, but they support us. But it will take a huge, I mean, I don't even know, it's $1,000. It costs you quite a bit of money to play soccer. And that's why there's a lot of parents that, my kids go to St. Peter's, and there's a lot of kids there that their parents won't let them do it because of the cost. We play Saturday morning and Sunday every weekend, so if you're out in Shawnee Mission, you're not going to drive it, especially with gas at $4 a gallon. Hotels are $150 a night, and they're eating out 3 times a day with 3 kids. It's expensive.
It sounds like you're expecting a lot of family, friends, spectators. How does that accommodate the view of the game?
The view of the game. So I can talk about that for a second. Excuse me. Every other soccer complex has no seating either. If you haven't been in one, they're doing the same thing. Basically, we'll have probably a 30-foot along this edge right here, probably 40-foot here. So your parents and grandparents and kids all sit in lawn chairs. You bring your own chairs. The only time you ever see bleachers is when you get to the high school level or college level. But even high school kids that play on all these big tournaments that are not high school games, the time I take it, there's never bleachers on.
Yeah, the only place that where we play in St. Louis that has a bleacher is the championship field at Creve Coeur Soccer Complex. They have one, but that's because they have all their MLS next games that come in, teams from Texas and everywhere else. So they have that one field, but other than that, it's all fence. You stand on the other side of the fence away from the referees and things like that. And that's kind of the way they do it up there. Pretty much everywhere. So.
Yeah.
For parking for those 4 fields, how much are you planning on? How many cars?
Yeah.
Will fit in there and for 6 fields?
Yeah, we have it. I'll have to dig that number out, Gerardo. I think it might be on there.
Just an idea.
No, you're good. Right there, 252 and 67. We have 252 spaces in the south parking lot, 67 in north parking lot, I would call it. Then that dark shaded area is an overflow gravel area. Then we have an overflow gravel area here, which can be concreted, but it depends on where we're at on our budget. And Brian McMillan did it, but Brian's a good friend of mine and a great soccer mind and a civil engineer for CMPS, and he's the one doing the drawings. They helped us out a bunch. But he's done a ton of investigating. He designed Jeff City and Capital City. He's doing Jeff Cities right now. We're getting ready to start on it. But he did a bunch of numbers on it. I think we were like 20% under what we needed. Because they ran the numbers somehow on. And obviously the smaller kids you got, the more parking you got. Because you got grandparents and all that. So I know that's what it is, but just the 2 concrete, so when I say 250 and 67, so 320 roughly, whatever it is, parking that's gonna be concrete, that was quite a bit over what they were calling for 4 fields. On the 6th field, it did add more parking too. I wish you'd have had that for you, but you can grab the packet. The 6th field, it basically puts 1 or 2 more fields here, parking here, and parking here to accommodate the extra fields. I don't know the number on that, but I know Brian did all the numbers on it to make sure we have 20 parking. Yeah, it's planned for, yes. And like I said, I don't know the exact area where the stormwater, but like I said, our original plan that we're sending to the city is going up on the north side. And all the water from everywhere will be piped to that stormwater retention basin. So that's more CMPS's work in the city to decide what all we do on that.
Back to your question too, that you had earlier on seating. There are talks about having a championship field here on this, if we get to one of the 2 ones that we're adding to the south. So we are thinking about adding some stands because we have been told by Blue Fuse, who runs the MLS Next program, that they would consider dropping some games down here for that. So.
Other questions?
Yeah.
As a mom of soccer, I understand what costs is very significant. And some of the facilities I've noticed they have concessions.
So yeah, right now, that building that we have, if you're a mom of soccer, you've probably been to Mo Rush Field in O'Fallon. It's a small complex. That is where I got this idea from. It's a 4-field complex. Any of you that never really around soccer, 4 fields is tough to run big tournaments on. It's not enough. We played at Creve Coeur, which is 13, right? 13 full-size fields. What was that? What's Blue Fuse, 9? 10 fields. Mo Rush is in O'Fallon. Then you go to Garmin and Lake in Kansas, it's 13 too, I believe, ain't it? 13. There's 2 of them in Kansas, 2 of them in St. Louis. They're both not 10 to 13 fields. That was when I first jumped into this. I started out, like I said, 2 years ago with Heartland Soccer Association. They did a feasibility study for me, and the Convention Business Bureau helped me on getting all that done. But these guys came down here, they looked at the MSP redevelopment. I got hooked up with them from the farmer companies. And we've done a lot of numbers and a lot of work. A friend of mine, Trevor Monty, has been helping me on this the whole time. He's CFO for Pro Foods. When we started this, he kind of started helping me on this. Anyways, we've done a lot of studies. We got the Lake Ozark feasibility study a couple of years ago when they tried doing it down there. Was that an 18 field or 15 field conflict? It was big. It failed miserably, but it was all hotel tax. But I got hooked up with them guys. They're the ones out of Olathe, Kansas. They run that whole side, and they want one here so bad they can taste it. So they work with the farmers on MSP. They work with the lake on theirs, and now they're working with us on this one. So they're a really big supporter of it. But in saying that, and Gary, I can give you the feasibility study they gave us, and we should have probably put it in that packet. It's really constant. So they did do a feasibility study for us, and on our town, size of our town, everything came back great.
It's actually in there.
Is it?
That's my fault.
There it is, right there. So Exo Strategic is the company that Heartland Soccer, part of their company that does these feasibility studies. So that is in the packet too. Anybody's more than welcome to read it. But it tells you a lot about everything that they did in the capital city when they come here. And it wasn't cheap, I can tell you that, but we had to do it to make sure our town was liable for it. So it does tell you in there, excuse me, the 4 to 6 field, they're pushing for us to get 6 because 4 just ain't quite enough. The good thing we got going is we got Lincoln, capital cities, and Jeff City's building a new one in Elias. So we have 4 fields that are close that we can use, but it also ends up in tough scheduling issues because it's hard to get all 4 of them. They're all very big supporters. We played at every one of them. Yeah. He's met with every AD in every school, and everybody supports it because this club, as we haven't mentioned, it doesn't matter where they go to high school. It can be Blair Oaks, Fatima, Ashland, the Lake, Columbia, Jeff City, Elias. There's no Catholic or public deal. It's for all kids to get better. Wherever you go to Elias, there's coaches from every school. Kids go to every school. It's probably almost equal.
Yeah, and that's where you see the biggest growth in our club is because we have turf, and we're the only club that really offers turf in Central Missouri. We have kids coming from Sedalia, Ashland, Columbia, Osage Beach, Camdenton, and even Rolla, which is an 1.5-hour drive. So there's a very high demand for it. And so I did not share that with you earlier and why our numbers have increased, but that's a lot of the reason why. We did talk about turf, but turf is a very, very big reason why these kids, their parents are bringing them here. So
as he was saying about the President's Cup that we do have coming that we got signed up on, I mean, they were huge tournaments, draw tons of the economic impact of just them tournaments was crazy. I think it was 4 million, wasn't it?
That was the Luffy's one, was the big.
Okay.
The other one was $1 million.
Okay. So in saying that, this year we're able to use the high school fields and a few of the other ones. Lincoln, they're all supporters. We let them keep their own concession stand money plus rent the field, so it helps them out. Most of them, from what I know, getting into football teams or whatever, it helps the programs. But it'd be great to keep it all in one spot as much as we could. So we're trying as hard as we can to get to the 6-field complex. And then with our location, everything we got going, there's nothing to the south of us. We can draw a lot of people in this town to play soccer. And like I said, keep our own families here and save ourselves a lot of money.
Are they regulation size fields? I know.
Yeah.
I have basketball experience in mine, so I know courts can vary by the design, how much soccer, but are they regulated?
Yes,
as far as
they're regulation 11B11. We play college. The lighting on it is collegiate level lighting. So you can play all the way to college. I don't think we're going to spend the extra money, which I don't know the difference, to have like MLS level lighting. But yeah, you can play college level soccer on it. We've had quite a few different drawings. Obviously, another thing that he hasn't said yet, but we've been working on with Lou Fuse is they've been it's using Boonville, doing some big Midwest tournaments and using us in Boonville. Because Boonville, being their gambling though, has a lot of nice fields up there. But they can't really they can't keep anybody there because there's no hotels. Columbia is always full, that nobody will go to Boonville with, they have a beautiful, it's not laid out very well, but scattered around the whole high school there, but they have 8 or 7.
They have 8.
They have
And they have, according to every soccer place, they have the best turf fields in the entire state. And nobody believes it. Nobody wants to go to Boonville, because there's no place to stay, there's no place to eat, besides the casino. So I know that's one of the reasons why MISA is so excited about this, because, you know, they also they've dropped the ODP program, which is the Olympic Development Program for kids into Boonville. There's discussions about moving that here. So there's a lot of different things going on with those talks, but yeah, Boonville, it's beautiful fields. I mean, the lighting and everything is just, I can't get it done. So.
Before we end, I'd like to say one thing. I know he would never do it, but the amount of time that Kyle has put in on this project as personal time and even his own money, he's very passionate about it. He doesn't have to do it for the city, but it's just, he loves it. To have more people like him would be amazing. He puts in a lot of time. So,
Yes, if you go to United Capital City soccer.com, there is a tab that has blue complex on it. Just click on it, it's right there. So,
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. You're doing a great job, and I think we're gonna have to end it there, but thank you for being with us this morning. We appreciate
Thank you
your
for having
time.
us.
Yeah. Perfect. See you, Susan.
Yeah, that's great. Unless anyone has any quick announcements, we're gonna wrap it up. I know we shared at the beginning. Anybody have anything else they want to add to the good group? Or on Zoom? Okay, all right, I think probably, so go on, the next slide, it says when our next Friday copy is, which is the second Friday, June 10th. So very good. Glad you're here today. See you June 10th.
Thank you.